Welcome to Keto Meals and Recipes.com. Today I'm going to share with you my family's favorite go-to soup recipe, my hearty vegetable soup, in which I use bone broth as the base and adds all the healthy collagen bone broth provides. For your information, the macronutrient ratio for each bowl of hearty vegetable soup is 1.2 to 1, with 8 grams of total carbs, 3.1 grams of dietary fiber, resulting in 4.9 grams of net carbs per really generous bowl. As I've stated in the title of this recipe, the base for this soup is my homemade chicken bone broth. The link to this video and the written recipe are in the description box below. As I mentioned in that video, when you make your bone broth, you can use either raw chicken bones or leftover bones from a roast chicken, which is what I did in this particular batch. So you get that little bit of a roast chicken flavor to it as well, and it's really delicious. Okay, after cooking the soup, I use a colander to strain the soup, but do save all the good ingredients from that bone broth. And the next step is to prepare all my vegetables. Here on this first plate, I'm showing you how I have cut up the carrots, the turnip, a green bell pepper, and my celery. On this second plate, I have the diced onion and my cut up green and yellow string beans. By the way, you can use just either green beans or yellow beans, or the mix as I am. And on the plate, I also have the white cabbage. On this third plate, I have measured out the spices and seasonings I'm going to use in the recipe. A bay leaf, salt, black pepper, parsley flakes, dried marignon, dried thyme leaves, and dried basil. And lastly, on this small plate, I have the grated garlic and my tomato paste. And as you see, here I have assembled all of my ingredients, so I'm ready to start. First, place a large soup pot onto your stovetop, which is set to medium heat. Then drizzle in the olive oil, and when sizzling, drop in the diced onions and saute the onions until they are translucent. Next, clear the center and drop in your carrots and celery and saute these vegetables for about 2 minutes. Clear the center again and drop in your turnip and cook for 1 minute. Clear the center again and place the tomato paste in the center of the bottom of the pot. Use your spatula and spread out and saute for about 1 minute. This will get rid of that bitter taste and sweeten the taste of the tomato paste, which really adds a lot of flavor to the soup. Then toss well until all the vegetables are well coated with the tomato paste. Now it's time to drop in the green bell peppers, also called capsicums, and your grated garlic. Then toss everything well to combine. At this point, I'm also going to drop in the cabbage and my green beans and toss well to combine. And of course, don't forget to sprinkle your herbs, spices, and seasonings and toss well again. And the last thing we're going to do is to pour in the chicken bone broth. Here I have a suggestion. If you don't have chicken bone broth on hand, you can use chicken stock or vegetable stock that you buy in the store. It won't be as hearty, but it's a good hack if you don't have time to make the bone broth yourself. Then stir everything really well to combine. Bring the bone broth to a light boil. When you notice that the soup has started to boil, reduce the heat to maintain a light simmer. At which point, cover the pot with a lid and cook until the carrots and the vegetables are fork tender, somewhere between an hour to an hour and a half. And that's all there is to making this really delicious and hearty vegetable soup. One word of advice I would like to share is when your soup is done, fish out and remove the bay leaf, and then serve and enjoy. This soup can either be served as a starter for any meal, or it can be served as the perfect main dish for lunch or dinner. But to make it a full meal, I like to add a slice or two of my walnut bread, or alternatively my pecan bread, which I spread with a generous dollop of unsalted butter. I like these two nut breads because they complement the vegetables amazingly well. I do make this soup throughout the year, but sometimes I swap which vegetables I put in. By the way, you can swap out the turnip and the carrots and the green beans with whatever seasonal vegetables are available at the time of year you're making the soup. Please leave me a comment and tell me what vegetables you would prefer in a vegetable soup. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you come back when I post my next one. Until then, have a happy and healthy day. Cheers!